Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rulla Alani, and generally I make videos for women in order to help you guys just grow and become the best versions of yourself. But today's video is actually for the men out there because I was requested to do a video sharing types of women to avoid when dating. So the first type of woman that you want to avoid when dating is the woman with a timeline. This is such a controlled type of living, and it really leaves no room for fun and excitement and adventure. Maybe you and your partner date for 2-3 years, but you guys are really progressing and growing in love and, taking steps that are furthering your dynamic. Having a rough timeline is completely okay, but when it is so fixed and so adamant, it actually makes you less attractive, and a lot of men don't like it when they feel that they're being controlled by this timeline that you thought of like 10 years ago, and you're still just so stuck to this idea that you have no room for actually living and for actually experiencing what you're meant to experience. Women tend to have a stricter timeline than you because there is a deadline for women in terms of reproducing. Thank God nowadays women can freeze their eggs and there's all sorts of alternatives such as adoption and all of this, but that is why some women tend to be in this sort of rush, and men generally aren't, because men can reproduce almost for as long as they live. So just be understanding and be empathetic towards women, because they're not going to be as fertile 5, 10, 15 years from now. So you need to be understanding of that. But if you meet a woman and she is just like so strict, like in 3 months we must move in 3 years we must be married, in 5 years we must have our first kid, it's a bit too much. It's kind of like going on vacation and having an itinerary for every single moment of the day. Breakfast, sightseeing, tours, like it is too much, like I'm that kind of gal where I might write certain ideas when I go on a trip, or I might have 1 or 2 tours booked or 1 or 2 reservations made, but you have to leave room for life, for experience. And that is something that I have learned as a woman. When I was younger, I was like, I want to be married by 25. I want to do this by this age. And now that I'm 27, I see life so differently, and I think that life becomes a lot more beautiful when we allow things to happen naturally and we allow things to flourish and we don't interfere with God's plan. So that is the first woman that I would stay far away from, is a woman with a strict timeline. The second type of woman that I would stay far away from is a lazy woman. I am all for women deciding whether they want to work, go to school, stay at home, be housewives, but one thing that I cannot get by is a lazy woman. It doesn't matter if you don't have a typical traditional job. You should be a woman who is active, whether that means going and exercising, whether that means having hobbies and things that you like to do besides just shopping. Don't be just a lazy woman who has no plans, nothing to do. It's unattractive. So I would stay far away from a woman if you get to know her and you find out her days are just completely open. She has nothing booked. She has nothing going for herself. Nothing is truly giving her fulfillment and purpose in life. And that's what you need to realize, is when you don't have a job, when you don't have passions, when you don't have interests, when you don't have anything that fills your cup, this woman is going to be so empty, and she's going to be taking that out on you. She's going to be expecting you to fill her void, okay? And that is not where you want to be. I honestly never get bored, and I know when I was dating, men found that interesting. Men found me so interesting because I wasn't just, oh yeah, I have this 9-to-5 job and then I come home and watch TV. That was not me, right? I was someone who had so many things going on, and it makes life more interesting. So if you meet a woman who's lazy, doesn't have anything going on, that is definitely a red flag, and a woman that I would personally not think that you should be dating. Okay, the third type of woman is the masculine woman. So this could be the boss babe type of girl, right? She doesn't want you to open her door. She doesn't want you to get her gifts. She wants to be independent. She's Miss Know-It-All, Do-It-All. It is completely unattractive when you meet a woman and she doesn't allow you to do anything for her, right? Like, women need to be receptive to men's love, to men's admiration, to men wanting to buy them gifts or plan trips for them. And if you meet a woman who's like, oh, no, 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 I don't want you to do that for me. Oh, no, 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 I don't, like, I got it, I can do it. You start feeling like, well, then what am I here for, right? Like, I want to take some things off your plate. I want to be a good man, and you're not allowing me to be a good man. So beware of masculine women, because they will make you more feminine. You are going to be in your feminine energy, and you are not going to be feeling like a true man when you're around them, because they want to control everything. They are going to be wanting to make all the decisions, make all the plans, and it's going to make you feel less like a man. So find a woman who knows when to surrender, when to get into her feminine energy. It's completely fine if she's a business owner, if she's a multimillionaire, if she's super successful, that's fine. But when you're in her presence, you should feel like a true man, and you should feel that she's in her feminine aura, and she is allowing you to lead, and she is following your lead because she trusts you and is surrendering to you. So if you meet a woman who seems awfully masculine and doesn't really have any of these traditional gender roles, personally, for me, that is a red flag if you are more of a traditional man. The next woman to avoid is the indecisive woman who doesn't know what she wants. This is huge. Being indecisive is such a big turnoff, okay, in any area of your life. It doesn't matter if you're indecisive with what to choose at a restaurant, because that means you're indecisive with anything else, okay? And remember, too many options equals zero options. If a woman isn't able to see what she wants and clearly say, this is the one that I want, you are going to have a lot of trouble reading her and figuring her out, okay? A perfect example of this is recently, I don't want to say who this is. They know who they are if they're watching this video. But somebody in my life who I adore was asked what purse she would like for her birthday. And so this guy in her life was sending her pictures of different options of purses, and naturally she should have picked one, right? Because that is how life works. When we're given an option, when we're given choices, one of those options should stand out to us and should scream to us, this is the one. And that happens when you truly know yourself. I know when I was younger, I was very indecisive, but I have gotten to that place in my life where I'm a very decisive person, and it's because I know myself. I know what I want in life. I know what I desire. I know truly what works for my lifestyle and what doesn't. But the problem was that when this woman was given all of these options, she could not pick. So instead of responding, I want the Louis Vuitton bag, she was like, well, the Chanel one looks kind of cute. I like the Louis Vuitton one, but I really like the shape of this one. And guess what happens? You end up getting nothing. And that's what a lot of women don't get, is when you can't decide. It's not that the universe decides for you. It's that you don't end up getting anything. So keep in mind, it gets super confusing when men are not able to pick up what you prefer, what you like, what you want. And I've honestly had this conversation with my fiance. I told him, honey, if you showed me 3 pairs of shoes and I couldn't really pick which one I liked most, would you get me any of them? And he was like, no, why would I? you didn't love any of them. If you are a man and you are getting your wife or your lover a gift, you want to know that it is making her so happy. You want to know that she absolutely loves this item, that this one thing is the number one thing she would want right now in this moment, because that boosts your ego as a man. Like, hey, I was able to get this for my wife, and it is the pair of shoes she's been wanting all year long. That is exciting. You want to get something for your partner that they love. But if they can't even figure out what they like, good luck trying to please them or make them happy, right? They are going to be taking you in circles, and you are never going to know if what you're doing is enough, if what you're doing is up to par, if what you're doing is actually up to their standards. So dating an indecisive woman becomes a big struggle, because you're never gonna truly know if what you're doing is satisfying her, because she doesn't even know what she wants. So how in the hell are you gonna figure out what she wants? The fifth type of woman to avoid is the insecure, jealous woman. We have all dated, unfortunately, someone who was extremely insecure and jealous, and these things go hand in hand. When someone isn't secure with themselves, they are going to be making up for that insecurity by literally being a police officer in your life, trying to figure out who you're texting, what you're doing at all times of the day, and it is completely unacceptable, and it's not fun to date someone who doesn't trust your word. So being with an insecure or jealous woman means you're going to be with someone who doesn't believe you, who doesn't trust you, who's going to need proof and confirmation that you are where you say you are and that you're doing what you said you're doing, and it is just unattractive. We've all been with someone like this, and it leaves a really bad taste in our mouth moving forward. So that one is just short and easy. As soon as you find that the person you're with is seeming to be jealous or controlling or insecure in any sort of way, that is literally telling you right there to run away in the opposite direction, because this person is not for you, and they have healing and inner work to do before they're ready to date anybody. The next woman to avoid is a woman with no hobbies or interests. So this kind of goes hand in hand with a lazy woman. But a lady who doesn't have any hobbies or interests is a very dangerous woman, because it means that she doesn't have anything productive to fill her time with. Free time, generally, there's a quote, right? Like, free time is the devil's. I'll put the quote in, but it basically means that if you have a bunch of free time in the day and you don't have anything to do, you're gonna end up doing things that are not really good for you, right? That are harmful. And so you want to have hobbies and interests that fill your day, whether that's art, writing, reading, sewing, jogging, working out, anything like this, hiking, biking, swimming. All of these are healthy habits and interests. Definitely only date women who actually have hobbies and interests, because if they just have a job or they just go to school, that means they aren't getting that much fulfillment in terms of extracurricular activities. And you guys, hobbies and interests fill our cup. When I am able to do yoga and do the things that I love and write in my journal, I show up in my partnership as a fully loving woman who's ready to give and pour into my man. Now, on the other hand, if I'm super just overwhelmed and stressed out and I'm not doing anything for myself to fill my cup, that is also going to pour out negatively into my relationship. So you want to find people who are doing things that they love and that light them up, because that energy is going to be contagious and it's going to pour into all other avenues of their life. Sorry about the lighting, you guys. I am just trying to play around with the lights inside, the lights over there. I'm obviously in a new location. I'm at a hotel right now, and anytime I'm not in my usual office, my normal filming spot, I'm always just never getting the best lighting. So I'm sorry in advance about, the light coming in and out. I know it's super inconsistent, but I just want to apologize. So 7, the 7th type of woman to avoid is the broken woman. And I don't want to victim shame any woman who has been broken, because I know I have been there and a lot of us have been there. But it is our duty and our responsibility to heal. It is not okay for us to jump into a new relationship and just bring all that baggage onto this new person. And that is what a lot of people do, unfortunately. So a broken woman is someone who has had some sort of trauma, whether it was in her childhood, whether it was with a previous partner, and she has not fully healed from this trauma. So she hasn't been to therapy, she hasn't, gone to a psychologist, a psychiatrist, she hasn't done any of the inner work to truly get past this situation. And so what does that mean? It means that she's coming to you with a lot of trauma. She doesn't know how to navigate emotions. She doesn't know how to communicate in a healthy way. Perhaps she's giving you passive aggressive behavior. Perhaps she ghosts you. Perhaps she walks out during a super important conversation. These are all sort of red flags that people show when they are broken and they have not healed. So if you know a woman like that, or if you've met a woman like that, it is truly hard to get these women to surrender. They always kind of guard themselves, and so you're never really getting to know them as an individual because they are in survival mode, and so they're protecting their heart and doing everything that they can to not get hurt again. But as I've always said, you guys, anytime we fall in love, there is a risk involved, and trying to shield our heart and play hard to get or put these crazy walls up is never going to protect us. It's only going to hurt us in the end, because it means we're not able to form a healthy partnership with someone and really be vulnerable as we should when we're falling in love. And so if there is a person who is broken, they really need to work on themselves and go to therapy and do all that on their own before they're able to get in a healthy partnership with you. The next woman to avoid is the bossy woman, and this is the type of woman who is always telling you what you need to be doing. Now, unfortunately, this goes hand in hand with being a masculine woman, because obviously masculine people are the ones who tend to make the rules and kind of make the big decisions. But if a woman is acting like that, she's acting bossy, that means she's in her masculine energy, and no guy wants to be with a woman who is nitpicking them. Perfect example is when I first met my partner, I thought the best way to convince him to do something was to just tell him over and over and over and over and over and over again. Okay, and I realized that this approach was horrible. Okay, so for instance, let's say I wanted him to go to the gym with me. I would always be like, honey, you should come to the gym with me, blah, 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 blah. And anytime I'm saying you should do this, that automatically tunes someone out, because someone else is imposing their beliefs onto your life, right? Like, nobody wants to be told what they should be doing, right? So I was completely going with the wrong approach. And I realized every time I told him, you should do this or you should do this, it was making him less likely to want to do that thing. So what did I end up doing? I ended up shutting my mouth, not even telling him you should be doing this, and I just started going to the gym on my own, right? I put on my leggings, put on my sneakers, and I was just like, bye babe, I'll see you later, I'm heading to the gym. And after a week of doing that, after 2 weeks of doing that, well, guess what happened on week 3? He was like, I want to come with you. I'm going to put my shoes on and I'm coming too. And I was like, huh? All of a sudden? And it is because you don't realize it, but when you step into your ideal best version of yourself, that creates a ripple effect, and other people will want to do it naturally. Like, you won't be the one having to tell them you should do this. Another example, which is completely different. When I first started online dating, I was telling all my friends and family, you guys should online date. It's so convenient, it's so efficient. You guys should online date. Do you think any of them downloaded a profile? None of them did. But the minute I got engaged with my partner who I met off online dating, you would be amazed as to how many people are now asking me, which dating profile should I use? I think I'm gonna set up an online dating profile, right? And it's because results speak for themselves. And so you don't want a bossy woman. You want a woman who rubs off on you in a good way. So her healthy habits become your healthy habits also. But it's not forced, right? It comes about naturally when you see her living her best life, you see her results, and it motivates and inspires you to do the same. Okay, the next woman to avoid is the angry or rude woman. And this is the type of woman who is just making comments that are completely inappropriate. Maybe she is super mean to the waiters when you guys go out to eat. Maybe she is just one of those women who is always gossiping about people and saying things that are negative and bringing people down. This is someone you don't want to surround yourself with. It's as easy as this. We all want to be surrounded by people who are loving, happy, positive, productive. All of us want friends and family and loved ones who are like high vibe, right? Like they always speak positively onto you. They always make you feel better about yourselves. We all want to be around people who uplift us and empower us. So the last thing you want is to be dating, literally in a relationship with a woman who is breaking you down, making you miserable, being completely rude and angry to not only you, but to the other people in your life, maybe even to your family members. This isn't someone that you want to introduce to your mom. No, you want a lady who is sweet and loving and kind. And so definitely stay away from women who are rude or mean or just angry, because that is not the type of energy you want in your household. Last but not least, but probably the most important, is to stay away from a woman who is not self-aware. Self-awareness is one of those things that it's probably the most important thing you want in a partner, is somebody who is self-aware. Because being self-aware means that you are analyzing yourself on a yearly basis and becoming a better and better and better version of yourself. Okay? Being self-aware means that you recognize when you've done something wrong, when you've acted out of hand. Being self-aware means you aren't afraid to say sorry and to apologize. I know that there was a time in my life when my ego was so high that I would never say, I'm so sorry, that was wrong, I shouldn't have said that. That was mean, that was insensitive. Nowadays, you should see how quick I am to apologize. You want to be with someone who's quick to apologize when they've done something wrong. And someone who is self-aware is not going to be giving any sort of apologies because they think they're perfect. They think they don't have any faults. They think they don't have any weaknesses, okay? So the number one sign of someone being not self-aware is someone who doesn't want to learn, someone who is closed off to any new ideas or new opinions, someone who is not comfortable being challenged by other opinions or other viewpoints. This means that they are so closed off and so, far from being aware, because if you're truly aware, you are able to be neutral. You're able to see things for what they are. You're able to see yourself and recognize your own weaknesses, your own strengths, your own faults, and you're able to fix those and actually want to improve yourself. Definitely, if you are dating for marriage, you want someone who has a growth mindset, who wants to become better as the years go, who wants to become a better partner, a better lover, a better woman. And someone who is not self-aware thinks that they're already perfect as is. So basically, the person you're meeting today is fixed in stone. You're not getting a better, more, conscious version of that person, because they believe that they don't need to change. They believe that everyone else around them should change and improve and fix their faults, but they believe that they are just completely innocent. So that is not the type of person you want to be dating. So that completes this video. Those are the 10 types of women that I urge you to avoid. I hope that it was helpful. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye!